Good morning, Enid. It is 7:30 on this Thursday, May 10th. Thank you for joining us on kind of a rainy morning. It's always good to wake up real early and to hear the rain on the house, the rooftop, if you will. Grab a cup of coffee and join us as we have news, weather, and sports, and a very special guest this morning here on Good Morning, Enid. And we just appreciate you being here. We're live streaming around the globe at enidtv.org and also coming to you live on Channel 12 and in high definition 112 right here in Enid, Oklahoma. Good morning, Enid. It is time to rise and shine.
Good morning, Enid. Thanks again for joining us today. As Steve said, it's still raining out there, and it's about 65 degrees, but let's take a look at that bus stop forecast and see how it's going to be later on today. Looks like it's going to get up to a high of 89 degrees, and it looks like it's going to get mostly sunny later on today. The winds will be around 20 to 30 miles an hour out of the south side, and tonight's low will hit about 68 degrees. So overall, later today, it shouldn't be all that bad out.
Thank you very much for that, Erin. I know if you guys are liking this weather that we've been having lately.
Too hot.
I know it almost feels like summer. Well, I don't know how you're going to feel about this weekend. Here is our 3-day weekend. We are in the 90s. It is going to be windy both Friday and Saturday, and it looks like it may be a little cloudy on Sunday, but also nonetheless, it's going to be in the 90s all weekend. So it's going to be a pretty warm, pretty warm.
The message there is keep moms in on Sunday. If it's 97 degrees, we do not celebrate Mother's Day in 97-degree heat. Keep her inside. Let's take a look at the radar if we had. We had some showers passing through the area here in northwestern Oklahoma during the night. I was watching the weather late last night. Noticed they were up in the southwest part of Kansas, and they just kept on moving southeast through the Alva area and through Enid. So we'll take any shower that we can get. Thank you for the radar there. So some of the statewide temps here this morning at 7:32. We're holding steady around 65 at Fort Reno, at El Reno, 66 degrees. And our friends down at Lawton at 65 degrees at Fort Sill. And you notice the theme that Penn has for us today? Notice that theme, Sarah? I guess not.
No, yeah. I'm sorry.
Fort. Sorry, just little subliminal hint.
Oh, yes, I see it now. I was trying real hard right there, too. Find that message.
Go back to sleep, Sarah. It's okay. Go back to sleep. Thank you for staying awake with us. And Penn had a little Fort Supply and Fort, all those others. A lot of history here in the state of Oklahoma. So, okay, speaking of history, you learn history in school, right?
Yes,
maybe.
we do.
Yep.
Yes.
We do. Well, most of us do. So if, like Steve said, school's still in session, so that means there's food. Let's look at our lunch for this week. Thursday, pulled pork sandwich, celery stick, woe butter. Did I say that right? Fresh carrots, pickle spare, peaches, and milk.
Yes. It's not whoa.
Wow.
It's wow.
And then on Friday, we are having chicken taquitos, chili and cheese, refried beans, broccoli, pineapple tidbits, and milk.
So that's the school menu. And I believe they're going to go, school gets out on May 24th. So we're rounding the corner and school's just about over for the year. I just can't believe here it's the middle of May. It's really, really quick.
Yeah.
Well, we have news, weather, and sports coming up here in just a moment. There was an exciting basketball game. Did you watch that last night?
I did not. I missed it.
The Sixers and the Celtics. I thought the Sixers was going to win it, but the Celtics came through. So the final 4 teams are set in the NBA. So exciting times, if you like basketball. Anyway, to find out what happened overnight with all the news, we always turn to one guy, and that's the bow tie guy. That's Derek Silas, and he has the Oklahoma Minute here at 7:34.
Well, this has been a very busy week in national news. President Trump withdraws from the Iran nuclear deal, and 3 Americans are released from North Korea. Hawaii evacuates parts of Big Island due to a volcano eruption, and the Mormon Church ends a 105-year relationship with Boy Scouts due to changes in the program. Well, in local news, the Citizen Fire Academy continues its classes. I had a chance to experience how it is to go inside and put out a burning structure. And summertime is approaching. Splash pads will open for the season beginning tomorrow. Right now, the 2 pads will operate from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. on an even-odd alternating schedule. Sunday, the African Children's Choir will sing at Willow View United Methodist Church at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Fun fact, did you know that in Guthrie, nearly 20,000 lighters and fire starters are displayed at the National Lighter Museum? Well, it's the nation's only museum devoted to the collection of lighters. And on this day in history, in 1869, transcontinental railroad travel is made possible for the first time in U.S. history thanks to, at that time, the Union Pacific and Central Pacific. And that's the Oklahoma Minute.
Very good. Thank you, Derek, for that information. We just want to take some time to remind you all that if there's any questions, suggestions, comments, anything you want to share with us, please email them at gme@enid.org. Our cows are always there faithfully waiting to hear from you. So we definitely want to hear from you. Also, if you're looking for any plans for this weekend, it is Mother's Day weekend, so it's a big weekend. Here is Erin with what's happening.
Thanks, Sarah. Well, since it is raining today, I figured we'd start off with something indoors. The Gaslight Theater is presenting Next to Normal tonight, Friday and Saturday. It's 7 p.m. tonight and 8 p.m. tomorrow and Saturday. Tickets are $15 for adults, $12 for military, and $8 for students. Now, this isn't just any normal play. It actually won 3 Tony Awards in 2009 and a Pulitzer Prize in 2010, and one of the prizes was for Best Musical Score. So it's definitely a play that you want to go see, and you could take your mom to it if you'd like to. And it is about a suburban family struggling with the effects of mental illness. So it's definitely something worth seeing since it won all those awards. So definitely go check that out, the Gaslight Theater. And then Saturday is the grand opening of the Enid Farmers Market, and its 10th birthday also. It has changed location, so if you used to go to it, since it's been around for 10 years, it has switched to the courthouse lawn from the old rail house district. So if you want to go get any fresh-grown Oklahoma produce, foods, and crafts, definitely go check this out. It starts at 7 a.m. and runs till 11 a.m., and it's running from May all the way up until September. And then finally, this Monday is the Denny Price YMCA annual golf tournament. It's at the Oakwood Country Club from 11:30 a.m. is the check-in time, and 1 p.m. is the tea time. Now, I'm not much of a golfer because I've never learned how to, but this is definitely for a really great cause. Entry fee is $75 or $300 for 4. You can sign up on the YMCA website, and it provides quality, affordable childcare this summer for any people struggling with financial needs, and it also will give a well-rounded curriculum for literacy, physical education, everything that the YMCA offers. So it's definitely for a great cause if you really like golf. And that's what's happening this weekend.
So are you going to play?
I don't know if I can even hit the ball right now.
I take that as a no. I take that as a no. All right, Erin, thank you so much. Well, it's 7:38. A little bit of showers in the area, holding steady around 65 degrees. However, it's going to be warm and humid today once this all moves through. High around 89 degrees today. The humidity probably be about 120%. Typically happens in Oklahoma. After a shower, it gets really nice and humid. So, well, Mom's Day is coming up, and I know you've got special plans to honor your mom, and we should honor our moms every day, but Sunday's the big day to do that. And we have a little special video that Penn has put together for us to honor our moms. Very nice. Good morning, Enid. Thank you for joining us here on this Thursday again, May 10th. And at this time is usually when Sarah and I bring in our special guest each week. And our special guest today is Everett Glenn, Public Works Director for the City of Enid. Everett.
Thank you for
Good
having
morning.
me.
It's good to see you. See you all the time, but it's still good to see you.
Thank you.
So, thanks for being with us today.
No problem.
Sarah's got all kinds of questions, so here we go.
Good, now
Sure
be easy
do.
on me now.
I sure do. Welcome to the show, Everett. It's really nice to have you here. I really like today's topic because I know a lot of people don't really know what Public Works is all about. So I think they'll learn a lot this morning. As Steve mentioned, you are the Director of Public Works. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do for the city?
Sure. My role, I'm kind of new at this. When I come into this position, I not only want to be a good Public Works Director, but I want to take that direction and use it as a direction to lead my public works groups, my leaders, my supervisors, my employees, to the direction we need to make a good community and kind of be good customer relations back to them. So that's my goal, is to give them the resources and the things they need to do their jobs good.
You talked about your employees right off the bat. Can you kind of give us a frame, if you will, for people to say, yeah, I hear of Public Works, and maybe I see some trucks in the Enid community that says Public Works on the side. How many employees do you have?
We have 68 full-time employees, and we have 30 part-time employees. That consists in 4 different departments, of course. We work with the streets, the fleet management that keeps our fleet moving for all of our areas, including public utilities. We have our technical services that keeps our traffic lights and signs and things all moving and up to par and visible where you can see them. And then we have our parks department, which is very crucial for our people that wants to go and do their, their life and stuff like that, and enjoy their parks. So.
Very good. I know you talked about the different departments that make Public Works. Any of these departments, I know when I think of work, before I worked out there actually, I used to think Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 was my job. Out of your 4 departments, are any of those departments 8 to 5, or do you have 24/7 staff?
Our normal hours is 7:30, 3:30, but we have 24/7 staff, so we can respond on anything from cleaning the debris out of the street to make it safe, set up barricades for water breaks and stuff. That way people don't run into them and cause any problems. So we're always going, and even we got 24/7 in our park staff for when we got people out in the pavilions and stuff and they need something, we can respond and help them out. So.
Our guest this morning on Good Morning Enid is the Public Works Director for the City of Enid, Everett Glenn. Everett, from time to time, I'll get a call because they'll say, well, you need to do public relations, and that's why I'm calling you. Because they'll report maybe a traffic light out or maybe a tree down in the neighborhood and it's impacting the street. But people call my office for a variety of reasons, and I know that you get calls all the time. So what is the best method, the best avenue to report a problem, pothole, any street problem, traffic light out, anything that impacts the community? What's the best way for folks to do that?
There's several ways we can do that. You can get online, of course. There's an area on there for our Q&A.gov. You can fill out a request. It'll come to us. We can look at it and we can respond accordingly. You can call my number, of course, 616-7327. And I'll talk to you personally. That's my direct line to my office. And if I'm not there, it'll come to my cell phone. Or you can just call the city offices, and our receptionist there will get it to the right place. More than likely to my administrative assistant, Kelly Muncrest, and she'll get it to the right direction to help everybody out.
If we can, Penn, can you go back to that very first graphic that you had on the citizen support? Yeah, thank you. Now, how is that monitored? Somebody looks at 2 o'clock in the morning. Does somebody see that once they respond at 2 o'clock in the morning? Or does that sit there for?
That said, we don't see that 2 o'clock in the morning because it just gets emailed to us and we don't read emails at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
So if it's an emergency, you probably ought to call the police department and they'll get our on-call people and they'll respond to it.
Okay. Very good.
I would like to add, that's actually something that a lot of the departments within the city have. So if you have more problems other than potholes, that's always a good option. So just remember to check that out on our Enid website. Everett, I know you mentioned that a lot of your staff is 24/7, and obviously running a city takes a lot of work and it requires a lot of skills. What type of skill sets do your employees have that help them run part of this city?
That's kind of a hard question. We've got so many skill sets out there. We've got concrete technicians, we got electrical people, we got plumbing people, technical people that can control lights and signals and stuff. And it takes everybody in our city, our 68 employees, from the top of our supervisors all the way down to our last person who's got very important roles in all this. We're actually kind of regrouping, thinking things out, because we want to be good with the community. This is our community, we want it to be good, we want it to grow, and they're all a big part of it, and they're really jumping on board with me on this thing. Like I said, I'm new at this, but I want them to get the morale, and I'm getting them the motivation on to really create good things. But skill sets, there's a lot out there. I mean, we can do buildings, we're doing roofing right now, painting, plumbing, whatever, we can do it.
Everett, you said twice you're new at this, but tell us how long you've been with the city of Enid.
I've been in the city for 25 years now. I started with
Yeah,
seasonal.
you're new at this.
Yeah, I started seasonal golf course. I moved my way into a railway maintenance type worker and did the groundwork, became equipment operator, ran all the equipment, then moved into the foreman, supervisor positions, equipment facilitator, so I know all about all the equipment and what we need to get the jobs done, and then I moved into this public works director. So I can see the whole picture of what we need to do and get done. Of course, I can't do it without my good team out there that's doing it. So.
Well, we all say that. You got to surround yourself with the best folks.
That's right.
Speaking of the folks, tell us about the work environment, maybe what the culture's like. Somebody's watching the show this morning, their nephew needs a job or a husband needs a job and they're thinking of making a career change. Again, people understand, or they hear the phrase public works, they go, well, is this a sit down at the table, or do I put on my high boots and do I get after it kind of deal? So the work environment for public works is pretty much on the go, isn't it?
Right. You can take it all the way from putting rubber boots on and climbing in a mud hole up to your kneecaps, or you can sit in the office and help with the paperwork and stuff. There's a lot of things that we can do. Of course, first thing we're family oriented. I want these guys to really be a good group and enjoy their lives, go home safely, and all that. But there is a lot of things to do between housework, painting, building, concrete work, knowing about toys and parks, creating events for us to have a good time. So there's a lot of things out there.
I can definitely say that it's a great environment to work at, because, I mean, if you like to eat, this is the place to work for too. They definitely like to feast every so often. Can you
Is
tell?
that on the job application? Do you
No,
check
that's
the
just the
box
part.
if you like to eat? Okay. That's just a public works thing only. Okay.
Everett, can you tell us a little bit about those residents that are out there worried about certain parts of the city? What can they do to assist the Public Works Department to make the city
That's a good
feel
question.
better?
I think the biggest thing is to be patient with us. We have a lot of things to do out in the public, from potholes to water leak breaks, repairs, to trees, to mowing, to trimming trees, line painting that we're really getting involved in to help get the traffic down the road. So be patient with me, the first thing, but also report those problems to us. We don't know about them until we get told. And we've become more of a community. I want to be a good customer relationship, so we're going to respond back to you. So give me the things that needs to be done, looked at. I can't promise the world, but we're definitely going to get back with you. We're going to look at the problem, and we're going to get the right resources and get that problem taken care of.
And that was kind of shared with me the other day at the administration building. The person was walking in our building and made comments about certain parts of our welcoming part in our building that needed to be cleaned up. And again, sometimes we're so close to it, we may overlook it and not look at, but we need another set of eyes out there in the community to help us out.
That's right.
And we appreciate that.
That's right.
Well, yesterday, timing is good, Everett, because yesterday you had the opportunity to visit with Jennifer Watson, the Community Relations Director for the Thunder Cares organization. The Thunder, basically, were in town yesterday. Tell us what's going to take place here on, I believe, June 5th.
June 5th. We're excited. The Thunder Care Foundation is going to come in. We're going to dedicate the new courts down on Cherokee and 6, I believe. They've redone the courts and got it all with Thunder logos. Looks beautiful down there. We've also upgraded the park some with new facilities on the restrooms and the park stuff, the new sidewalks.
There's new park equipment
parking
on the north
equipment
side.
on the north
and
side.
This is at Don Haskins Park.
And we're going to do a big dedication, and it's going to be wonderful. We're going to be serving hot dogs, ice cream, water. we're going to make a good things out. And we're going to get some kids in the community involved in it and really have a good time.
So I encourage everyone to put that on your calendar, 10 a.m. on June 5th. That's a Tuesday. And the Thunder organization has their program. They'll have different VIPs from the Thunder coming up, and they'll have their own master of ceremonies. They'll have just all types of individuals with the organization. So Mark, put that on your calendar if you would, Sarah. And bring the little one, you will. Again, it's at 10 a.m. on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll definitely have my grandson there.
Yeah, it'll be a fun time. Well, Eric, Everett, stay with us. We got to keep on moving with the show, but we'll be back with you in a question here in just a moment.
That's right. If you just joined us this morning, we do not want you to miss out on the overnight news. So here is Derek with the Oklahoma Minute.
Thanks, Sarah. This has been a busy week in national news. President Trump withdraws from the Iran nuclear deal. 3 Americans are released from North Korea. Hawaii continues to evacuate parts of Big Island due to a volcano eruption. And the Mormon Church ends a 105-year relationship with Boy Scouts due to changes in the program. Citizen Fire Academy continues classes. I had the chance personally to experience how to put out a fire. And in local news, splash pads will open for the season beginning tomorrow. The 2 pads will operate from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. on an even-odd alternating schedule. The Africans Children Choir will sing at Willow View Methodist Church on Sunday at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Here's a fun fact. Did you know that in Guthrie, nearly 20,000 lighters and fire starters are displayed at the National Lighter Museum? Well, it's the nation's only museum devoted to such. And on this day in history, in 1869, the transcontinental railroad travel is made possible thanks to Union Pacific and Central Pacific. And that's the Oklahoma Minute.
Very good, Derek. Thank you very much. Just kind of a snapshot of today's weather. It's going to be kind of a warm and humid Oklahoma day today once the rain clears out and stuff. High around 89, and it's going to be humid. Our winds are going to be from the south, but typical May weather. We enjoy the rain, but once the clouds part, doesn't the humidity bother you?
It sure does, but a lot of things bother me, weather-wise.
And let's take a look at the 3-day weather forecast. I know big Mom's Day plans coming up this weekend. Just in case you don't plan anything on, we're going to have Mother's Day, if you will, on Saturday for my 94-year-old mother-in-law. So the weather looks like I was talking away, and Sarah, the 3 days.
Yes, as you can see, it's going to be a pretty warm weekend. It's going to be in the 90s, so it's also a pretty good weekend to enjoy the splash pads that are going to be opened for the first time this weekend. So,
yeah, that starts
weekend.
Friday.
Yeah, I believe so. Starts tomorrow. So, great weekend for that.
Well, if you celebrate Saturday or Sunday, take care of Mom because it's really going to be warm. We want to remind you that we have another budget meeting coming up in the council chambers this evening around 5 o'clock this evening. And you can hear that, watch that on the Enid television network on channel 12 and 112, and we'll live stream that budget meeting this evening, getting underway at 5 p.m. I believe this is about our 3rd or 4th meeting, Everett, I'm not sure.
Yes, it is.
But we're rounding third base and heading home on this budget process, and then I think next Tuesday we'll have a city council meeting, but we'll also have perhaps our final budget meeting as we try to get all the finances in order to keep the city running for the next year or so. If you're with us at 8 o'clock this morning, we have Chance Leonard. Chance is working on a movie project highlighting wrestling, high school wrestling in the state of Oklahoma. And I believe it's something legacy. I've just forgotten the title. But anyway, Chance Leonard, Oklahoma kid, has been with us here in the Enid studios for a number of times. And the interview that I had with Chance is coming up at 8 o'clock. I think it's pet time, isn't it?
Yes. We do have
One
a
of our
little guy
favorite
named Tiny Tim, and we would like to bring David Hadley to introduce you to him.
Hi. Today we have a little Chihuahua male dog we call Tiny Tim. And he's up for adoption at the animal shelter in about 2 days, maybe 3. And he'd be a nice dog for someone. He's real friendly, and he likes to play. Thank you.
Thank you, David, for sharing Tiny Tim with us. As you could hear in the background, did you hear that, Sarah? All the dogs barking? I don't like that. That means there are way too many dogs that are in their pens. So
That's very
help us
true.
out at 249-4910. Our special guest today on Good Morning Enid is the Director of Public Works, Everett Glenn. Everett, is there any projects, we got just a couple of minutes or less than that, that you could kind of update the city on, that Public Works is working on? We know the Thunder ribbon cutting event is June 5th, but any other projects that,
Sure.
any major sidewalks, any street efforts going on? That,
Yeah, so Run Randolph and Adams, we're working on a section that's been a problem for years. It's been really unlevel and issues for cars going through there. So we're kind of upgrading it a little bit, repatching it, doing the drainage work and getting the water where it'll flow. We've got some areas downtown we're moving to next that we're having problems around curbsides and bricks are caving into the sidewalks, so we're going to work on that on our next project.
excuse me, let's go back to that first project you talked about that you're working on. I think Derek and I both have received calls about when's that going to be done. Can you give us a guesstimate of when that?
The guesstimate right now, we're looking next Friday and we'll have it open back
Okay.
up. So we're doing good. Of course, we have several areas that's, we got little caving stuff that we're working on, which is just normal procedures that we follow. Park stuff, we're working real close on getting ready for July 4th. It's coming up. There's going to be some good things going on with that. Things that probably has never been there before, so I'm excited about that. It's going to make it really big. And we're looking down the road to do we're getting some new equipment in, so our drainage work is going to be improving and stuff. So when I said the resources for me to help them get the resources to do their jobs, we're getting those resources. Mr. Gilbert, city manager, is really helping us out and listening and getting us the things to do to improve our jobs and improve this community. So I see good things in the future.
I think what you just shared with us just remind us how much effort it takes to keep a city going. We may not see it every day because of our routines and things that we're involved in, but you are talking drainage and streets to be safe, and at the same time you're preparing for 4th of July and things of this nature. So if people have questions about Public Works, how can they reach you, Everett?
It's 616-7327. This is my direct line to my office.
616-7327.
I'd love to talk to you.
Okay. Well, we've got some excitement going on in our roof here at the studio. We don't know if the rain's trying to come in or the wind's blowing or what. Did you have anybody trying to come in the door this morning?
Not that
They can
I
just
know
use
of.
the door. They
Yeah.
don't have to come through the rooftop.
I don't know. Maybe you had somebody coming in ready for us.
Could be a big mouse. How about that, Sarah?
That's what I was thinking.
Could be.
Let's hope it's
you
the
may not
wind
hear it, but
or
we
the
can hear
rain.
it. So we'll just say it's a big mouse here at the studio this morning. So, well, Sarah, why don't you close this out?
Well, I just
Happy
want-
Mom's Day, by the way.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that are watching us this morning as well, and a special Happy Mother's Day to all the Hispanics that are celebrating Mother's Day
That's right.
today.
That's today.
So happy Mother's Day, Feliz Dia de las Madres. And we just want to thank you guys for joining us and being faithful to us every Thursday, because I know we have our fans out there, so thank you very much. And for just sending in all your comments and questions, and to Everett for being here this morning, and just thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Time to say goodbye, Everett.
Have a great Thursday.
Goodbye.